Hey, it's Vanessa Vaughn Matthews, the founder and chief resilience officer of Asfalis Advisors, and welcome to another episode of Crisis Corner Cafe. Today we're going to be talking about tornado warnings. Charlotte, North Carolina is where Asfalis Advisors is headquartered, and today we're currently under a tornado warning, which means that weather analysts from around the country have predicted that there is an immediate threat and you need to take safety precautions now. Many of you who know me, if you've ever been to one of my presentations or seen one of my talks, you will know that I experienced a tornado that exceeded 130 miles per hour that picked up my vehicle and totaled it while I was inside of it. One person lost their life that day, 50 people lost their homes, and in the city of Atlanta where I was at, it destroyed the east and the west sides of the city. And so what that taught me that day is just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean you shouldn't be prepared for it. Currently, schools, the airport, as well as businesses in Charlotte have either evacuated or they have employees that are in a safety area to make sure that if a tornado hits, that the employees are safe and they're in the strong structure within the organization. So there's 3 things I want to share with you today that you should consider. Number 1, communicate. Communicate, communicate, communicate. I've seen on social media, on Twitter, the city of Charlotte, the airport, and I've also received phone calls from the emergency notification system of making me aware, hey, there's a tornado warning. Make sure you are indoors. Make sure you are safe. It's telling me what time the tornado warning will be over. When I was in the tornado in 2009, there were no sirens and there were no warnings. So no one knew anything and no one knew what happened, and it was dark outside, so you couldn't see anything. The other thing that we didn't consider back in 2009 was the international population. How many people may or may not speak English, or how many people may have never experienced a tornado, so they just don't know, quite frankly, what to do. So make sure you communicate with your workforce, whether that's through social media or through your notification systems. Make sure your employees know what to do and your customers. Number 2, don't go to the windows. I know that sounds crazy. It's a tornado, Vanessa. Why would I do that? I cannot tell you how many times I've worked with different organizations from across the world. When there's a tornado warning, people go directly to the window. It's interesting to watch. You want to see a tree fall. You want to see what's happening outside. But the reality is that just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that you should not be prepared for it. And standing next to a window is a risk. And you want to make sure that you are not there. So be sure, don't go to the windows during a tornado warning. Number 3, get inside. So when I was in the tornado in 2009, I was actually in my car and I didn't have anywhere to go that I could run to. A brick building actually crumbled to pieces next to my vehicle. So when I originally thought of, hey, maybe I should get out of the car and go inside of a building, I stopped. Because as debris started to fly and buildings started to collapse around me, my car felt like the safest place. However, if you're outside and you're walking around, I would highly recommend you to try to find an open building where you can get inside and get safe from things that may be blowing around you. If you can get under a secure structure, so that way if something happens, you are at least somewhere where you can't be blown away with the tornado. There was a woman adjacent to me in 2009, and she was bear hugging a light pole. And as she was doing that, her legs were swaying in the wind. 130 mile per hour winds, if they can pick up a vehicle with me inside of it, they can definitely pick you up. So make sure that you get inside. So the top 3 things: communicate, don't go to windows, and get inside. My name is Vanessa Vaughn Matthews, again, the founder and chief resilience officer of Asfalis Advisors. Thanks for tuning in to Crisis Corner Cafe. And be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and Twitter accounts at Asfalis Advisors.